Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having Scorpio on the 7th house cusp in a natal chart. Now, I think one obvious conclusion one can come to is that the person that has this placement, Scorpio on the 7th, may attract a potential significant other or partner that may be perhaps very dominant personality, very dynamic, perhaps has a transforming effect on the person, somebody that perhaps has strong penetrating insight, a person that might be somewhat mysterious. It could be a person that's rather secretive, but on the negative side, they need to avoid relationships that it may be connected with manipulation or something like this, and where maybe they attract the people that are there just maybe to use him or her. And I'm not just talking about a prospective significant other, I'm talking about relationships in general. Now, relationships in general may be very intense, to say the least. They may have a propensity to attract rather complicated, complex people into their lives. This could be a person that attracts somebody as far as a significant other goes, as perhaps being very sexual. That could be an understatement. Their relationships often are not just intense, but can have have a lot of depth to them as well. Now, the 7th house also governs open enemies or adversaries. So this person, as far as open enemies may go, they may attract, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to attract Scorpios as far as enemies, as far as maybe a sun, moon, or ascendant. Although this could be the case, because I've had some people that I guess I could say that were formidable nemesis during the course of my life, and two of them, if I'm not mistaken, one had their moon conjunct my descendant in Scorpio, and then the other one had their sun conjunct my ascendant in Scorpio as well. So that is possible, but you're really, what it's about is you may attract enemies, open adversaries that have Scorpio-like attributes or characteristics. They may be very powerful. They might have maybe a vengeful quality to him or her. There might be people that are very resilient and seem to bounce back and have a lot of persistence and tenacity. So they may attract some fairly willful open enemies. Now, it could also indicate that perhaps the open enemies in some cases might be people that are interested in Scorpio-like things, such as astrology, the occult, supernatural, things that are connected perhaps with law enforcement, forensics, detectives, people perhaps in that, as far as that group may go. This could also indicate in relationships in general, these people may form bonds with people that are into astrology and occult, supernatural sciences, and the things that I mentioned before with the law enforcement and forensics people, maybe psychologists, psychiatrists even, in some cases. Now, the 7th house also is connected with documents, and when we say, it's not really documents, but we could say contracts, negotiations. And negotiations with others, if they're negotiating something, can be very, I would say, have a good chance to be very intense, to say the least. And there may not be really any middle ground in as far as these things may go. And it's kind of like having a fixed sign on the descendant. It's kind of like either might be my way or the highway, and it might be maybe the person that has this might have that attitude toward negotiations, and then again the people that they're dealing with may have that same, I guess you could say, kind of perspective or outlook as far as matters pertaining to this. Now, the 7th house also is connected with legalities. So these people may get involved, perhaps with people, if they're involved ever in any kind of lawsuit or litigation, perhaps with people that can be very intense. Could there be lawsuits with people that are connected with psychology, psychiatry, perhaps law enforcement, detectives, people that are associated or affiliated with astrology or the occult? This could be, this is still a possibility, I would think, but the enemy, the people that they're involved with in courtrooms can be very formidable, and I think also it could be somebody, perhaps even somebody that they had a sexual relationship with, because Scorpio is strongly connected with sex. So that could be another possibility. But look at this too, and having the seventh house is also connected with the public. So I would say the relationship with the public can have maybe a lot of highs and lows. I mean, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and it's about upheavals. So there might be really like strong maybe fluctuations this way, maybe some extremes, either kind of like they either love certain people or maybe they just don't like them at all, period. So there might be being a fixed sign and being Scorpio, it would make sense. It would be kind of an extremist type position as far as this goes. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having Scorpio on the 7th house cusp in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having Sagittarius on the 7th house cusp in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.